Tomorrow is the launch of the 30th anniversary update in Destiny 2, and that's going to be bringing forward a lot of, I guess, older weapons. And among those weapons coming from D1 is going to be Eyasluna. And you might be wondering, well, didn't we kind of already have Eyasluna in the game? Yeah, well, we did. It was Austringer. I guess the question now, though, is will Eyasluna actually amount to Austringer? Not even what it was in D1. I think that Austringer is actually better. I don't know if this is controversial again, but I'm pretty certain that the perks on Austringer in D2 and with D2's level of power creep is actually better than Eyasluna was back in D1. Ignoring the damage model and the potency as a result, I mean just perk for perk and in terms of weapon stats. That's also just my best guess. It's not a factual statement. If you'd like to fact check me, you can. Don't take it as such. I'm not just trying to compare Austringer to Eyasluna in D1. That's not the point here. My point is I'm more concerned with if Eyasluna in Destiny 2 is going to compare and live up to Austringer and what it was in Destiny 2. And the reason why I bring this up is because sunsetting has kind of come to the game as a form of almost soft resetting the crazy power creep that happened in Forsaken and that year afterwards, I want to say. When Austringer, that time period when Austringer actually came out and was released, was a time where things and weapons were getting, wow, they were getting really crazy. I feel like with our knowledge of the game now and looking back, I understand now way more than I did before how insane and crazy the weapons that were coming out were. And it's still mind-boggling to me. I think in many ways we can look at a lot of the weapons, although there's been very good weapons that have been released post-sunsetting that are very desirable for many reasons. In many ways, a lot of these weapons still actually aren't as strong as some of these sunset counterparts. Some really obvious examples is things like Adored isn't quite what Beloved was, and Mindbenders is still better than Felwinter's or Found Verdict. In the same way, in that pattern, Austringer is still the perfect hand cannon, and nothing, even Fatebringer and Palindrome, have really technically been at the level that Austringer has achieved in terms of just, I think, sheer best perks and best stats. I think that we can generally agree that this is most likely healthier for the game and better for the game overall. But if we are in agreement that those near perfect weapons aren't exactly healthy for the game, doesn't that go against our hopes for something like Eyasluna returning and making its official debut, not as Austringer, but as Eyasluna in Destiny 2? I mean, I feel like it does kind of go against it, because even for myself who wasn't that big into D1, I know that Eyasluna is the most iconic legendary hand cannon, I want to say, from that game, and that means a lot to a lot of people. It's gotta come back, and it's gotta be really good. It's gotta feel like the best, I want to say, or really damn close to it at least. And I guess the topic that I'm really pondering in this video and trying to spark a discussion about is, as Bungie, how do you deliver on a weapon that needs to be, you know, in line with the identity and the legacy of it and be desirable as that weapon's legacy, but also not go back to what we once had in terms of near perfect weapons? Or do we just go there? I don't even know, really. I realize I've ranted for nearly 4 minutes now without even talking about what Austringer had that made it perfect. My role of the Austringer and what perks it possibly could roll was opening shot, Eye of the Storm, accurized rounds, full bore, and you could of course go for small bore, you could go for other range increases, hammer forge, extended, etc. It had a high recoil direction, but just barely off of 100, incredibly high range. It maxed out at 83 range with a ranged masterwork, and that's with full bore and accurized rounds. It was an incredible hand cannon, and even with that, it still had 54 stability, which isn't bad, and a very high aim assist of 75. Overall, just an incredible hand cannon. In the place of opening shot, you can also get rangefinder, which some might value more than opening shot. But for me, what makes this weapon so insane is it has a crazy stat package with very high range, but also the two perfect consistency perks that go hand in hand: opening shot and Eye of the Storm. Opening shot, we've talked about in the past. I talked about it in the Waking Vigil video, how it does actually affect the follow-up shot, and Eye of the Storm will cover your late gunfight. Right now, we're in a place where we have to choose between one of these perks. Like, hey, do you want Eye of the Storm on Fatebringer? Do you want opening shot on Fatebringer? Not both together. having these both together keeps the accuracy cone so tight on this weapon or on a hand cannon, which again, accuracy to me is pretty much everything, as it affects the consistency of your weapon and the aim assist of the weapon as well. Not directly the aim assist, but by proxy. Just don't want to get into that technical jargon right now. Anyways, accuracy is incredibly important, and the combination of opening shot supplementing your early gunfight accuracy, keeping your weapon very accurate, also boosting the aim assist and the range, and then transferring into Eye of the Storm for mid-late gunfight, giving you handling and accuracy, keeping it really tight and accurate. That's incredible. That's got to be the best perk combo you can possibly get on a hand cannon, I think. Again, opening shot, you can switch it for rangefinder if you like, but those two together, I think, is a match made in heaven. It is literal perfection. That is a perfect hand cannon, in my opinion. Cone approved. And there's probably a reason why we haven't seen that combo ever since. Between that and Not Forgotten, those were the two most accurate, most consistent hand cannons in the game. Of course, this kind of lived in the shadow of Spare Rations because of what it could achieve with its aim assist values, etc. But I digress. Hypothetically, on paper and in theory, that combo of perks is the best possible, especially in the metagame now, where we only have 140s and we don't really have Spare Rations anymore. So will this perk combo come back? And if it doesn't come back, does that mean that Eyasluna is going to be a letdown compared to Austringer? Like, I'm really not sure how I feel about this. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like if the Eyasluna doesn't come back with these perks, I would understand, but there'd be a little piece of me that is a bit disappointed because it exists in the game, technically speaking, with that combination, right? What we have gotten since Austringer went away, though, is Hawkmoon, and Hawkmoon is obviously the exotic that Austringer and Eyasluna, more importantly, is based off of. So I think what they might do, especially since Hawkmoon's been so well received, I think everyone, especially the controller players, really love how smooth it feels. I love it for that reason, at least. So I think that what they might do is take the base stats of Hawkmoon, take something similar or the similar shape of it, and make that into a legendary and give it 2 trait perks instead of course 1 trait perk and then the exotic perk on top of that. I think that seems like the most realistic scenario. Hawkmoon also has an incredibly higher aim assist than that of Austringer, which is pretty crazy, and what it comes down to is how much range will a legendary version essentially of this be able to get. Will it be able to get really high range, like up to 81? I don't know. If it does do that, isn't gonna get the combo of Eye of the Storm opening shot, because those are both in the same column for Hawkmoon currently. I don't know. I really don't know. I really want this to come back with Eye of the Storm and opening shot, but that means that I think the range simply can't be as high. Like there's no way you can let it be essentially what it was before, except somehow better, right? But that would be too good, unless, I don't know, unless like Bungie's just cool with that and that's what we're getting, right? I don't know. I'd love to know what you guys think, though. Do you guys think that Eyasluna is going to live up to the hype, and do you think it will live up to Austringer? Will you be disappointed if it comes back without some of the crazy perk combinations that existed on Austringer? And do you think if it does, is that unhealthy for the game? A lot to be had here, and a lot of I think opinions or thoughts to be had, so let me know in the comments. There's also apparently some folks that are saying that it's going to be a 180, which would be very wrong and bizarre to me, so I'm hoping that it's not. I don't know where that came from, but I've been seeing that for some reason. It's kind of odd. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the anniversary update, and thanks for watching as always. Take care.